right, everybody, well, hold on to your butts. Here we go. As promised, the K20 is going into the Fiero. Stay tuned. Or, what's the right thing I should say? Here goes nothing. Let's get this done. Just do it. Let's get busy up in her. Now, how about I just get to work and you watch? Yeah. All right, it's in the car. Yay! I gotta get some nuts and bolts. I don't know where they all went, but hopefully I'll find them soon. I think you can see what's up now, huh? There it is, boys and girls. The K20 is in Brian's car. What do you think? She's in. For all you naysayers, if there are any, that's bolted to the cradle, baby. See that bracket down there? Can I get my finger in the shot? Right there. And it's bolted. Sorry, it's gonna be a little crooked. It's bolted down right there. Yes, sir. She is bolted in the car. All right, well, I guess you've been following along. We're now in episode 8 of the Honda K20 swap into my 1987 Pontiac Fiero GT. Today was a pretty good success. I've learned that I've lost a lot more than I thought in the move here. I've lost the cradle bolts, funny enough. So yeah, there's that. So I got to pick up some 88 cradle bolts, obviously 88 cradle. So yeah, well, engines in the car, didn't take long at all, didn't fight me, well, with the exception of the cradle bolts, didn't fight me at all. But you probably don't want to hear me jibber jabber, you want to see what I've done. All right, sorry, mom's calling. So anyway, yeah, not a whole lot of trouble getting this done. Oh boy, I look great today, don't I? So yeah, you don't want to see me, you want to see this. There she is. It's got it in the car, gets come out pretty good. Next I'll start on the upper head side mount, the one that goes there. Let me turn this camera around because you can't see and I can't see, so nobody can see. All right, so next on the agenda, as you can see these bolts here, we got to build the head side mount. Gonna have to get a little creative. Might have to go somewhere off of this frame just because of the battery tray placement. On my 88, this is all removed because I have the battery located up front. We'll see what Brian wants to do on that. But yeah, these are the 3 bolts that hold the head mount bracket on. A lot of people that do the K-swaps use the, I believe it's the CRV mount. So, yep, I'm probably just going to end up mounting it lower and getting the bushing. I can't speak today. Probably going to get the mount located a little bit lower. So that would probably necessitate a custom bracket. So, yep, I got to work on that one, unless we're going to relocate the battery, which I really don't want to do because it's just a lot more work, but it would look a lot better. Next up is we're going to start making the mount here. And looking at how high that mounting pad is, because I want to attach it to the, I want the mount to attach somewhere right here. Basically that whole tower is going to have to be cut off of that bracket. Let me take these off and I'll show you exactly what I mean. Time lapse of getting these off. All right, as I was saying, this is the bracket. As you can see, it sets way higher than where I want to do this down there. You can't really see crap. So I would basically have to take this whole tower part off, and then just have to put this piece lower down there, which would bring this mount somewhere like this, and then just make a bracket somewhere like that. Then make a bracket come off that frame rail, which would be super easy to do. Like, really easy to do. Heck yeah. I like that one. That one's going to be fairly easy, I think. I'm just going to play around with it. Now over here, I also have this. This one, do something like that. Nah, I don't like that one. All right, well, I've got a bunch of different mounts up there to play around with. We'll see what I can come up with. But yep, that's where we're at right now. But the engine is in the car. Happy, happy days. All right, well, it's been a few days since I made another video. I've been working on the mounts. It's coming along pretty well, actually. I picked up a blade for the bandsaw, but unfortunately, everybody at Kenny's house has strep throat. So I'm going to avoid that place like the plague. I believe they say it takes 48 hours or so for the antibiotics to kick in to where they're not contagious, and I think I'll give it 72 hours just to be safe. Engine's in the car. It's fitting in there quite well. I'm actually really pleased at how I've got the engine located in the car, just, you know, with the transmission, lower transmission mounts I've made. I am going to have to change them up a little bit. I'd like to bring the engine back about 1/4 of an inch, but what I need to do is tie a line across 2 of the strut tower bolts, which I'll edit in a picture here, and run my line across there, and that'll be my straight edge. And that way I can take that edge and measure from there to the valve cover, just so I'm sure that the engine is perfectly centered and it's not cocked any direction. I'm paying very close attention to axle angles. I want to try to get it as straight as humanly possible. And yeah, I keep fiddling with my glasses. I need new ones, and they're held together with tape because awesome. I'll show you what I've been working on. I've been working on the upper mount on the head. Now, looking at like the CRV head bracket thingy and the existing K28 head mount, which I think most Honda guys call the passenger side mount. It's looking like I can't use it, so I'm making my own, and it's pretty cool how I'm going to do it. I'm making my own plate, and I'm going to attach the new upper mount to that. I have to countersink some bolt holes and things like that, but I think it's going to work out really well. And I just came up with a brilliant idea on how I'm going to make the mounting pads on the frame rails. So essentially, I have to make a bracket, which I don't believe I've made one out of CAD yet, but essentially I'm going to take a flat plate, and I'm going to have to bring out this edge a little bit because the frame rail in the Fiero widens toward the cab. But regardless, I can't just put a flat plate on the frame rails because they're going to be cocked one way or the other. So I'm going to end up trying to make them as square as possible. And on the back side, I'm going to drill some holes and basically do either captured nuts, or I'm going to weld a bolt through those holes. And that'll give me my mounting location on the frame rail. And then the bracket that I attach to that, what I'm thinking about doing is slotting it, so I can move the engine kind of side to side a little bit or front to back a little bit. And then once I'm happy where that's at, I'm probably going to go ahead and weld them because I don't really trust bolts to stay there forever and not come loose at some point. So I believe there was, I think Chris on B for Build had some mounts that were made like that for his 2JZ BRZ build, and he basically had the same problem. He bolted the adjustable mounts in location, but he didn't weld them and they came loose. So watching his mistake, I'm going to get it to where I want it, and then I'm going to weld mine to the frame rail. And then boom, I got the adjustability of putting it exactly where I want without the possibility of it coming loose and damaging something. Oh, I'm making a power steering delete kit. Yes, K-Tune makes one, and they're very proud of it, and the price reflects that. So the one I made has cost me basically nothing. I'll show you a picture of that here. But let me show you what I've been working on with the mount over there, okay? Okay, let's see what we got. It's kind of dark in here, I'm sorry. I do need to put some other lights up through here. But anyway, this is the passenger side upper head mount. This is the stock K20A one. I've got a CRV one around here somewhere. It's probably got lost in the move. So as you can see, the 3 bolt holes, and it sets basically like this onto the head. If you were the head, this is exactly how it would bolt on. So what I've made, and I've already started countersinking and everything, is I've made my own mounting plate. Now this obviously has got to get cut out, hence the bandsaw blade. I've already countersunk one of the holes, as you can see there. This is what I'm making. Obviously ignore all this because that's going to get cut off. Then this big beefy mount, as you can see now, you can start to see why I countersunk the one hole, is going to go on there like so. Now I don't know if I need to spin it around yet or run it like this. I'm pretty sure it's going to go like this, and then I'm going to have a bracket which I just started shaping. This isn't going to be the final piece, but this is going to be mounted off the frame rail. So this will come and basically slide right on. Now the adjustability, what I may do is slot here side to side. That way I can kick the engine forward and back a little bit. But also I might open these holes up a little bit, and that'll give me some adjustment up and down. I'm not quite sure. Those are pretty damn big bolt holes, and these are not. So that might give me a little bit of movement, but not a lot. I'm more concerned about front to back, to be honest with you. So this is going to go here. This plate will go here, and that's basically our setup. I'm going to go get some thin sheet metal to do a test of concept, and if I can get everything where I want it, because that way I can bolt it down. But if it's thin sheet metal, it's easy to work with, but it should just be strong enough just to kind of hold this. This has got to be 2-3 pounds. So if it can hold this in place, I can get all my measurements and yay, everything's good. And then I just have to remember to add, to compensate, I should say, for the thickness of this 1/4-inch plate. So let me show you over at the car. Alright, this is the transmission side mount. What I'm going to do, it's feeling strong, I'm going to put that on. Alright, this is the infamous transmission tower mount. So what I'm going to do with the bandsaw, or I might have to do it with the old-fashioned cutoff wheel, is I'm basically going to slice this off, and slice this off at the weld. So basically all I really want is this bottom plate. Then I'm going to take a slice off of here, and I'm going to weld in captured nuts on this back side. And then this little piece will end up resting down here on this bottom plate. I can mount this, again, forward or back to where I get it just right in the car, tack it in place, Bob's your uncle, it's done. That's my evil plan. I don't know how this is going to pan out as I progress in the build. But I did get the engine in the car, as you've already seen. It just isn't completely bolted down. Alright, as you can see, the engine is in the car. Yes. I'm having some audio sync issues when I use my S8 Plus. It seems to be fine when I upload it to my computer, but there's some kind of issue from when I upload it into HitFilm Express, which I use to do my editing. For some reason it does some weird audio sync. I don't know if it's because I'm filming at 60 FPS at 2K. So what I've done is I've switched it to 1080p at 30 FPS, which is what HitFilm basic settings are, default settings are. So we'll see if that works this time. But anyway, yeah, Ninja's in the car. It took me about 10-15 minutes to do it. I am playing around with making another mount, which you can see here. I think I'm going to attach this down by where the original AC compressor was, and that'll give me a fourth mounting point. Again, it'll just kind of help keep the engine from trying to rock over, because honestly, I probably could come up with a way to do a dog bone, but I think lower mounts would make the swap look cleaner. I think that's the way I'm going to go with it, because the upper head mount, if I get it up high enough, will kind of act like a dog bone anyway, especially if I have this mount down on the frame rail and just basically bracket up to an existing bolt hole in the engine block. So I am going to work on this and see what I can come up with. Power steering delete. Made this myself. Took about 30 minutes. Stuff I had laying around. This pulley was left over from the K28 where somebody tried to make this, but it was all crooked, as you've seen in previous episodes. So yeah, belt sander to the rescue, flattened it out, made it square, cut the old one off. I mean, it was booger welded like you wouldn't believe. Now it's nice and square, rolls freely, winning. All right, here we go. So yeah, these are the bolt holes that my new mounting plate's going to attach to. And you remember how I was talking about the frame rail? Well, right there you can see the frame rail. Yeah, so it widens as it goes toward the cab of the car. So basically what I'm going to hope to do, sorry for the shaky cam, if you saw how I was doing this, I'm going to attach a bracket somewhere right in here, and that's going to be that L-shaped bracket that we saw, and then the mount's going to come down off the head. That's the plan. I think I can make it work. Yeah, that's that. Then we come over here, probably a much better shot of the way the frame rail widens as it goes toward the cab of the car. But the light shining right there, let's see, you can probably see it better like that. That down there is the mounting location for that tower style mount I showed you. And that's going to be fairly easy. Let me set this camera down. Please don't fall, camera. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is basically the same thing. I'm going to put a mount here. So we got the tower mount here, the big poly bushing. So all I need is an L-shaped bracket or a U-shaped bracket here, and that's going to set in it. And I think I'm going to make that to where you can remove it, unbolt it. So again, captured bolts, put the mount in, tighten it down. And I think that way it can be removable. It shouldn't have to, because this mount's going to be to where you can unbolt it and pull the big bolt out of it. I'll show you once I get it all to make a little more sense. But I'm just trying to think of the easiest way that I don't have to fight with the mounts when I want to remove and install the engine into position. Again, I'm sorry I didn't get as far into the series, or I didn't progress as far as I wanted to in this episode. So stay tuned for episode 9, where she'll definitely be hard mounted, and I'll be starting on the coolant crossover pipes for the heater and for the main engine cooling. So yeah, we'll see you then. Thanks for watching. Oh yeah, one last thing before I go. I had something happen that I would have never believed in a million years would actually happen to me. But turns out somebody was trying to imply or insinuate that they were actually building the Blur. And I find that laughable and quite frankly sad. So you know who you are. And yeah, don't try to take credit for somebody else's work. The Fiero people are a very tight-knit group, and everybody knows the Blur. So I don't know why you thought you would do that or what your logic was, but don't waste my time and don't take credit for other people's work, all right? Thank you.